Welcome to Billy Review Stuff, where I review stuff. Today I'm looking at the Hiya Toys Exquisite Basic Godzilla vs. Kong. This finally came back in stock. They had where they made more of them. There's no notable changes like sculpt or mold or paint or anything like that. I imagine it still will have where it feels a little different from the first run of it. Maybe it has like where, it might be a little bit better tolerances just from where the mold is used again. But let's find out. Um, Not much on the back, but it does have like their Instagram and Twitters and Facebook. So go check them out because like they have where they are pumping out a lot of stuff, and I'm excited to see what they announce this year and to finally get. Oh, there's a little instruction. So Kong, his blister pack, 2 extra heads, 3 extra sets of hands, and the Godzilla spine axe. That's pretty dope. Let me go ahead and get him out of the package, and we'll take a look at him. All right, a few things I wanted to go over before I get into the figure. So I definitely had to give him a hot water bath. He was very stiff and tight coming out of the package. He definitely needed it. Another thing, I had where I pried apart his upper torso from his lower torso. Oh God, torso. Because I saw a video from Godzilla 154. He does great, fun little stop motion animations and also like fixes and stuff like that. He had a Kong fix from the first release because the double ball joint here, going from the upper to the lower, had where in the cavity down here, it was just really deep. So it kind of didn't work right. You couldn't get a lot of range out of that. And he had where he pried it apart and packed it full of paper. Well, I pulled it apart because I was like, oh, there's no changes announced for this at all. It's the same figure. Well, I pried it apart, and lo and behold, what I found inside here was at the factory they packed in paper. Uh, yeah, I thought it was kind of crazy, but I did have where I packed in a couple extra pieces of like paper towel in there. And I feel like now he has like that perfect range of motion from here, because at first it was like it wasn't too much even with the factory pack paper. So if you do get this, I would say pop it apart, put a little bit more paper inside there, because it is very deep. It's a very deep hole in here. It should be like where it ends right here, but it's like down to like the Kong belly button. And that was something. And also on his shoulders, they were very tight. I couldn't get them as close as they are now, and it kind of looked odd. It still has where they puff out a little bit. I think if they had like sculpted the upper torso just a little narrower right here, it would have came out perfect, because his bulky arms have where they hit, and it keeps him at a V right there, so he can't go straight down. I think they actually have that fixed for the Skull Island version, but I hope when they do the Godzilla X Kong version, they have where they look into this a little more, or add like a butterfly in here or something, because there's a little bit of give in there to kind of little rotate around there. But now that I've heated him up, his arms do move a lot better. It loosened him up just the right amount. And before I get into articulation there, I wanted to do a little comparison for a couple different figures here real quick, because obviously there's the Godzilla from Godzilla vs. Kong. Godzilla. That's a scale difference here. They look good together. I feel like Kong was a little bit bigger, but I mean, like, it is what it is. Maybe he wasn't. Maybe just Godzilla had where he was more hunched down, things like that. I don't know. I can't remember the movie. I need to rewatch it. I love rewatching it. But that was that. With the Playmates Godzilla X Kong. Like, again, like, this figure is great for $10, and it's, if it had a little articulated feet, it'd be right up there. But you can see a scale difference there. Another figure I wanted to compare it to is the NECA Kong. Only because it has where it shares a lot of the same kind of design for articulation, with like, I guess you'd say it was like the bean joints for the arms and the knees, where it has where they They're molded with the fur to be able to do like a double elbow and knees. The same kind of like two-part chest here. I do think the soft plastic or soft rubber on the NECA Kong has where it makes it easier for him to kick forward and back and stuff like that. This has where it's solid plastic and it's a little bit more difficult. My cat is attacking the toilet in the other room apparently. Please get out of the toilet, Gamera. Hey, don't do that. But yeah, other than that, it has about the same articulation. Other than this is ball joints in the foot here, and this is like a hinge and twist. Basically, the same kind of articulation, and I feel like this is the proper articulation for a monkey, gorilla, whatever type figure. Now for his accessories, he has 3 extra sets of hands. I have the fist right here and the kind of open gesturing hand. He has another matching fist. He has 2 weapon holding hands, so he can have where he holds his axe in either one, and then also he has the walking on his knuckle hands, which, I mean, like, I haven't tried to get him in that pose yet. We'll try to get him in that pose in a minute. Before I forget, yes, you can get him down on at least one knuckle looking right. 2 knuckles has where it's kind of hard. I think the picture that I was remembering was the Skull Island Kong that has where it can go down on both knuckles and look correct with that. And also, yeah, the Skull Island Kong has where it's coming with butterfly joints, and I feel like that's what's going to make that figure amazing. This figure's great, but that will be amazing then with butterfly joints, and it looks like also his arms can go down, like I said. So yeah, well, back to the review. And then also he has 2 alternate heads, and the one thing that this definitely does better than every other Kong figure I see out there is the head sculpt. Like, the paint and the eyes on there are fantastic. His eyes are straight. It looks like Kong. It has just enough dry brushing on there to bring out his fur. I love it. It's not hard to change his head once you get it off there. It's on a double barbell. Let's swap him to Angry Kong here. So it has like the tiny little head hole there. And just twist. It might be easier if I heated it up, but that is what I chose to do. I should heat this up. I'll be right back. Okay, heat it up. Should go on relatively easier now. Get on there. Okay, there we go. Wonderful. Now I have an Angry Kong head, and that Angry Kong head is pretty great. The paintwork on the teeth, the gums, it's wonderful. And then also you have your Roaring Kong head, and that one has where it's even better, because honestly it has where it shows the detail inside of his mouth that has some wash on there. It's great, and it has where it's gestured down for that look like that. Let me see if I get the light on there, get in there, see the eyes right. But it has where his pupils are looking up some, so it's like that stare forward in anger. It's wonderful. It's wonderful. I don't know if they would do different heads for Godzilla X Kong, have where, like, you know, maybe, I don't know if they'd match up, but I at least hope they have where they match the paint style in here. Because another thing that I saw on, like, when I saw the figure and like photos and things like that, it didn't really show the matte paint on there. It looked glossy, and I'm not a fan of glossy stuff on like real world or like trying to be realistic things. It doesn't look good to me, but it does have where it's a matte finish on there. I do like that. I do think that's how Kong should look. And one more thing before I get to articulation, I swear I will get there, is his axe. So I'm glad that they had where they designed it like this, because it has where it just pulls apart. You can take his hand, slide it in there. Easy peasy. You don't have to like try to pry the thumb open or squeeze it around here and rub the paint and stuff like that. And boom, he has his axe, and it's in his hand and it's ready to go. You could either pop the hand on there first or pop it off last, whatever, and to his hands. They're on a ball joint. They should be easy to get on there. It seems like they're easier to work with plastic. On there. Or you can always heat it up. There we go. I probably should still heat it up. But there he is. He's got his axe. I think it looks great. I like the paint job on it. It just has enough. So you can tell that's the Godzilla skin on there, using it to be wrapped around the stick to put the scale on there, or the dorsal fin. So that's wonderful. I love that. And then boom. Yeah, if I didn't heat him up, I would have never been able to get him into the jumping axe pose. I don't know how this McFarlane stand's holding him right now. I don't have a stand to be able to withstand him, because like he's a heavy boy. If you could find a stand, if you know a stand that'll work with him, let me know. But like, yeah, if you don't heat him up, you're not going to get the full range of motion that you should out of him. Woo! Okay, so for articulation, again, this is after I've heated him up. He has a double barbell at the head. You can go all the way around if you wanted to do that. I don't know why you would. He has single hinges at his shoulders. They can go up so high. They can rotate all the way around. You can invert them to have him be able to hold something over his head or strike down. The only limitation is the shape of the sculpt. If there is something you're trying to get him in, you can always kind of heat him up and kind of like fudge it. But again, it does not have where he can like hold, like his arms do not go straight by his side, but you can have where you adjust it to have where his arms go down to his side. So you just have where it kind of kicks out. It is what it is. Twist at the bicep up here. It has where the little kind of like, I'm going to call it a sausage joint, has where it goes into the arm here. This is like floating meat and goes into that. So that's really what's turning there. This is just kind of floating there. It's a double. You can get like this far into that sweet bicep pose. You can see them pythons. It's great. And then he has a double barbell at the wrist. So it's it's a ball joint. I think it works very well. You can see what's in there. Then it's a double barbell at the top of the torso. This is packed with paper. It came, again, like it came with a piece in there. I packed it with more. So this is what kind of articulation he has now with messing with that. That far to the right, that far to the left, that far back, and that far forward. I feel like that's a good amount for Kong. I do think the Kong Skull Island version, I think the Kong Skull Island version has the upper torso, the middle, and then it has like a lower waist piece on it, I think, because that thing looks incredibly poseable. At the leg, he has the ball joint there, and then a twist at the top of the hip. So that's fantastic. He can kick out so far. You can twist and get his legs to go forward so far. He has the double knee again. It can get so far back, which is pretty good, honestly. He's got some furry butt cheeks, and then he has a ball joint at the foot. I think it's a double barbell too, but I didn't pop off the feet. But any kind of motion in Kong's feet is appreciated when I've played with the Playmates toy. But like, you can get him into some pretty sick poses. Overall, I think if you do not have a Kong figure yet for Godzilla vs. Kong, or a Kong figure at all yet, if you can pick up the Hiya Toys one, it's like basically almost all the Exquisite basic figures that aren't King Ghidorah are like $50. I think he's worth it if you want the MonsterVerse Kong. If you want a Kong in general, I would say maybe just pick up the NECA Kong just to have something to play with. Because he has where he's only like 20 something bucks, 21 on I think Big Bad Toy Store right now for certain ones, and they're for sale on eBay. But I'm glad I have highly articulated Kong now from the movies. I can't wait to see what they do with Godzilla versus Godzilla X Kong, and I can't wait to get the Kong Skull Island one now because I got that Skull Crawler coming, and I can't wait to have something to fight it, and also to just see what I can do with posing and photography with him. But this has been Billy Beige, and leave your comments down below. Tell me what you think of this Kong. Tell me if you think it's cool of Hiya to have where they pack in the paper to begin with there instead of changing the mold, or is that just like a running change they did because they were like, hey, let's improve this the best we can. We can't redo the mold right now. We're investing in other things. Tell me what you think. And I'll see you in the next video. Later.